like a wiped out zombie after long flights, arriving at your long anticipated destination, just wanting to fall into bed and sleep for days? Over the past several years, I've had the opportunity to take a lot of long haul and overnight flights, each one of them giving me a chance to learn how to not only survive, but mostly thrive afterwards. So today I am sharing my best long flight hacks that will help you stay comfortable, sleep better, and actually arrive feeling like a human being. Let's go. Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. I'm Christy, the Gen X Gypsy, and on this channel, it's been my mission to help you chase those travel dreams with way more confidence and a whole lot less stress. And we all know that long flights can be one of the most stressful parts of traveling. So these following tips can truly make or break your trip before you even land. And these first few hacks are going to be all about what you can do before you ever even get on the plane. And hack number one is to choose your seat strategically. If sleep is what the priority is for your flight, like you're going to be on a 13-hour flight to Japan, let's say, I would suggest choosing a window seat, because then you can use the wall beside you in order to put your pillow, lean your head against, put a pillow there. Even if you're using a neck brace or something, it's still nice to have that wall beside you to kind of lean against and have a little bit more space. However, if getting up and walking around is important to you, like maybe you have issues with blood circulation and you need to constantly move, which we all should be moving on the plane, but this is really important for you. Or perhaps you're somebody who really hydrates well while you're flying, which again is important for all of us. You might choose an aisle seat because you're probably going to be getting up and down throughout that 13-hour flight to go use the bathroom or to just move your legs. Personally, my goal on a long flight is usually to get as much sleep as I possibly can, so I am almost always choosing a window seat. It is really rare that I choose an aisle seat. Hack number two is to not choose the last row seat for a number of reasons. Number one is those seats usually do not recline, and I learned that the hard way on a long flight. That was really, really uncomfortable. Number two is they are usually right next to the bathrooms, which means you have people constantly standing beside you or going past you all throughout the entire flight, no matter whether it's the middle of the night or not. And number three, that is usually where the flight attendant's galley is situated. So you are going to have the flight attendant activity happening all the time back there too. So it's going to be pretty noisy and busy throughout the entire flight. So just try to avoid that very back part of the plane for those reasons. Hack number three is going to sound a little counterintuitive, and that is don't board the plane exhausted on purpose. Being overly tired doesn't mean that you're going to sleep better. It usually just means you're going to be more uncomfortable, maybe a little wired, and end up pretty miserable. Early on in my travels, I thought this was a good idea, and I would go, especially for red-eye flights, when I was getting on board at like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. and taking a red-eye back to the East Coast. I would do all the things throughout the day and try to get myself super, super tired. But the problem is that when you're overly tired, it sometimes makes it really hard for you to fall asleep, and it just did not work for me. So try to be somewhat rested before you get on one of those long flights. Hack number four, make sure to eat light before your flight. Eating a super heavy meal and then sitting for 7-8+ hours just is not a great combination. Keep your food really simple, and the lighter the better, and it's just your stomach and your body is going to thank you. Now let's talk about a few hacks to dress strategically for your flights. Hack number five is to dress in layers. I say this all the time. You don't know whether that plane is going to be freezing or super hot, and it is usually nowhere in between. So make sure that you are always dressing in layers, no matter what flight you are taking, whether it's from the Caribbean to North Carolina, or it's from Detroit to Japan. You just don't know what temperature you're going to be dealing with. When we came back from Puerto Rico recently, and that was like a 4.5-hour flight, so it wasn't necessarily a long haul flight, but it was a middle of the night flight. So we were flying from 3 a.m. until I think 7 a.m. is when we landed. And the flight was so cold. It was frigid. It was like an ice box in that plane, and I did not have enough layers. And I had dressed in layers, but I had left my heavier layers, I had packed them away, so I didn't have like my puffy jacket with me. So I would say no matter what time of year you're traveling, where you are going, have at least like 3 layers on. A t-shirt, a layer over that t-shirt, so maybe a light sweater, and then maybe a heavier like puffy jacket or a heavier jacket of some sort, plus a scarf and maybe a blanket in your personal item bag, because it can be really cold on those planes. And then if it's hot, you just shed all those layers and you stick them into your personal item bag. Hack number 6, compression socks are not optional, especially for these longer flights. They're gonna help with your circulation, swelling, and honestly, they're just gonna make your legs feel better when you land. Hack number 7 is choosing the right shoes. Now, most of the time in the United States, we don't have to worry about taking our shoes off going through security anymore, but you're probably still going to have to do that if you're traveling internationally. But aside from that, you're going to want to choose your shoes for how comfortable they're going to be on the flight. So your feet are going to swell. Your whole body swells when you fly, if you didn't know that, and your feet are definitely going to be swelling when you are flying. So you want to make sure that you choose some sort of comfortable slip-on or slip-off shoe, or something, a shoe that at least has some give to it, so that your feet will stay comfortable throughout the flight, especially with those compression socks on. Hack number 8 is something I talk about all the time, and I just touched on briefly a second ago, and that is to make sure that you bring a scarf. But especially, I'm talking here about a bigger scarf, so a scarf that could do double duty as a blanket, or maybe you could use it as a pillow, or you can use it to really wrap around you as another layer. The scarf is truly one of those underrated essentials that you need for a successful flight. And I love this scarf from Quince. It's a cashmere blend scarf, and I have like 3 of them in different colors now. Love, love, love these as my scarf essential that I use on the plane. Now we're going to talk about the item everyone should have in their personal item bag to have a successful flight, and that is your personal comfort kit. Hack number 9 is you want to create a mini in-flight kit with everything that you need within reach. So your lip balm, your hand cream, your eye drops, your tissues. You don't want to be digging through your personal item bag mid-flight, especially on those overnight dark flights, and you're trying to dig in there and find your chewing gum or your eye drops or your chapstick, which is usually chapstick and Kleenex are the 2 things that I am usually searching for all the time on a plane. So I have learned to just make my own little pouch that I have all of those items in, and I have it handy. I either go ahead and pull it out of my personal item bag and put it in the seat back in front of me, or I have it at the top of my personal item bag, so it's super easy to find whether the lights are down or not. Hack number 10 is about hydration. Hydration is everything when you are flying. Cabin air is incredibly dry, so you're gonna wanna bring an empty water bottle and then fill it up after you get past security. Don't skip this part. You are absolutely going to need water. And sometimes it takes a long time for the flight attendants to come around with that first beverage service. So you're gonna wanna have water on you when you board that plane so you can hydrate the entire time that you're flying. And a little bonus tip here is to start drinking electrolytes a couple of days before 2 or 3 days at least before you fly on those long haul flights, and take electrolytes with you as well. I have a homemade electrolyte that I make every morning, but then I also take liquid IV with me when I travel, and I will drink 1 usually one of those during a long flight, especially if it's over 5 hours. I will drink a liquid IV during the flight, and then I have them after the flights as well. Staying hydrated when you are traveling is not talked about nearly enough, and it is so important for you to be able to stay healthy and active and have the energy that you're going to want when you are traveling. Hack number 11 is one you might not want to hear, and that is that you should skip the alcohol, or at least limit it to maybe 1 glass of wine. I know it can be exciting to start off your vacation with those celebratory drinks at the airport. I've been there, I've done that. But the thing is, alcohol is a dehydrator, and it really, especially for those of us in menopause, really disrupts your sleep. So if the thing that you are trying to do on the plane is sleep, drinking alcohol is going to be very counterproductive to that. So, just wait to have those celebratory drinks for when you get to your destination and skip the alcohol for the flight. Hack number 12 is to bring your own snacks on the plane. Airport food is so incredibly expensive and not healthy at all. It's all full of preservatives and salt and just things that we don't need to be putting into our body before we get on a plane. So try to choose snacks to bring with you that are fairly protein forward, lighter, easy to eat while you are flying. I like to bring some Kind bars, some Baby Bell cheeses, maybe one of those little snack things of the cheese that's rolled up with the prosciutto around it, things like that. I also bring my own collagen to put into the coffee when I am traveling, so that I have that protein as well. But just try to keep the things light and as healthy as you possibly can. Just a few little things to get you through the flight, because these long flights you're probably going to be served food, but we all know airplane food can be, some of it's good. I've had some really good airplane food lately, and then I've had some not so great airplane food. And you definitely don't want to have to be paying $12 for a snack box on the plane either. Hack number 13, let's talk about noise control, because it is a game changer. Whether you're using noise canceling headphones or just really good earplugs, blocking out that cabin noise can make a huge difference in your ability to relax. And I would encourage you, if you have noise canceling headphones that you're wearing and you listen to a noise machine at night at home, to try to use the same frequency of whatever the noise white noise that you use at home, to use that same white noise in your noise canceling headphones, especially to help you fall asleep. Hack number 14 is something that I didn't start doing until maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and that is to wear an eye mask. I will not fly without my eye mask now. It just is incredible how much it helps to block out everything that is going on around you. Whether you're flying during the daytime or flying at night, it is so nice to be able to block out the lights or the people moving around you, the movies going on that other people are watching, just all of the things. So you can just kind of zone in and be in your own little world with your eye mask on. It makes all the difference. Now we're going to talk about hacks on how to actually get some sleep on a plane. And hack number 15 is don't fight your body clock completely. If it's a daytime flight, just aim for getting some rest, not perfect sleep. And if it's an overnight flight, you're going to want to create a mini bedtime routine, which is hack number 16. And hack number 16 is to create a sleep signal routine. And this can be super simple. The things that I do when I am preparing my body to get ready to go to sleep on a plane is I'll get up and use the bathroom, and I'll brush my teeth while I'm in the bathroom with one of my little disposable toothbrushes. And then I will maybe pat some water on my face, or sometimes I'll have a face mister, but usually I just, maybe put a little bit of water on my face to dampen it up because it's getting dry. And then I'm going to go back to my seat and I'm going to put on my neck rest, I'm going to put on my eye mask, and I'm going to put on my headphones and put on my white noise machine. And then I know it is time for me to try to go to sleep. Hack number 17 is to use the right neck support, and that is going to be a matter of trial and error. I go back and forth between two different neck supports. I have the turtleneck brace that I use, and I'll bring that when I know that I have a window seat throughout the entire flight, because I can use that to hold my neck up, but I can also use that wall to sleep against. The second one that I use is the eye mask head support that actually attaches to the headrest behind you on the seat. And I'll use that when I know that I'm going to be in either a middle seat or an aisle seat for most of the flights. Most long haul flights are going to have the headrest on the seat that is adjustable, but there are some airlines that do not have those adjustable headrest on their seats. So you are going to want to make sure that whatever airlines you are flying on for those long flights, if you are going to use that style of headrest, you're going to want to make sure that your seat that you're going to be sitting in actually supports that. Like I said, there are so many different options out there for headrest and neck rest for flying. It is worth trying a few different ones out to see what works best for you. Hack number 18 is going to be very controversial, because I've had so many people who have said that they don't think anybody should recline their seat on an airplane. I am not that person. I am absolutely full team recline. However, there is the right time to recline and the wrong time to recline. If you are on overnight flights, most people are going to be reclining their seats, but you want to wait until food service is complete before you move your chair into position. But as soon as the flight attendant has passed you, picking up all of the remains of the meal and stuff, go ahead and move your seat into that reclined position so that everybody else around you, especially the person behind you that is being the most impacted by you reclining your seat, can get adjusted. They can move their stuff around and get adjusted as well. So that way everybody is adjusting kind of at the same time. If you try to adjust your seat in the middle of food service or like in the middle of the night when everybody else is already adjusted, it can kind of disturb people around you. But if you go ahead and do it at that time, right after the meal has been served and everybody's winding down and getting ready to go to sleep, then you are going to be the most respectful for everyone else around you. And yes, you can recline your seat. That's why they put recliners in those seats. Let's talk about some ways to soothe your body while you are on that long flight. Hack number 19 is to try to remember to move your body every 1 to 2 hours, whether that is standing up and walking and going to the bathroom, or just doing hack number 20, which is some simple seat exercises and stretches, like doing some ankle rolls or foot pumps where you push your foot up and down, or doing some shoulder rolls, moving your ankles and your wrist around. Just a little bit of movement that you can do to keep the circulation going in your body. Hack number 21 is one that I am still working on trying to remember to do, and that is to moisturize. I'm really good about using my lip balm all throughout flying because my lips get super dry, but then I don't remember to put hand cream on my hands or even put moisturizer on my face. If you can remember to do that once or twice throughout your flight, especially if your flight is like over 13 hours long, moisturizing your hands, putting some really soothing moisturizer on your face, it's just going to make you feel so much better. Hack number 22 is to try to get in a little bit of a freshen up before landing. So maybe about an hour before you know you're going to be landing, get up and go use the bathroom, brush your teeth with one of those disposable toothbrushes. If you want to wash your face, if you've brought stuff to wash your face with, you could even put on maybe a little bit of mascara and lipstick to feel like you are starting a brand new day. And if you really wanted to get super freshened up, you could even change your top out if you wanted to. I don't usually go that far. I'll usually just brush my teeth and maybe wash my face. Sometimes I'll put on a little bit more makeup. It depends what I plan on doing once I land, but that's always optional. Just do what feels good good that makes you feel like you are waking up and getting ready for the day. I think those are the important things to do there so that you have that energy starting to flow before you get off of the plane. Hack number 23 is one of my all-time favorite hacks, and that is to have a plan for your arrival. You want to know exactly how you are going to be getting from the airport to your accommodations when you arrive, especially if you are arriving at nighttime. I am a huge proponent of going ahead and hiring a car or a car service to get you from the airport to your accommodations, especially when you are arriving late at night, or you're arriving just somewhere that's so strange that it's just going to be better to have a driver. It can just reduce so much post-flight stress and anxiety. Highly, highly recommend. I'd love to know, what is your go-to long flight hack? Let us know in the comments below, because we can always learn so much more from one another. Over here is a great follow-up to this video where I share my personal underseat item packing system. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video today. I hope that you have safe and wonderful travels.